Oh. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om, we are in the second part of the Royal Secrets chapter, chapter 9 of Bhagavad-Gita, Rajavidya Rajaguhyam. What is a secret? A secret is in its purest form not a word, a sentence, a mantra, or a thought. It is seeing everything without interruption or interpretation of the mind. So here the secret is not about something which we do not know, but somebody else knows or many people know about the world. It is a secret here which only God knows, and He wanted only few people to know this. Why? Because we do not have the pure mind that is required to comprehend this. The secret of pure mind itself cannot be taught. It should be spontaneous and effortless. For example, if you are telling something very secretive to a child, the child, because of its innocence, doesn't even know what you're talking about. It is listening all right, but because his mind is not prepared, it is not able to comprehend what you're saying. In the same way, if our mind is distracted and impure with negativities, anger, lust, passion, greed, jealousy, and many other such traits, then even the purest knowledge that is imparted by the Lord will not be available to us. And this royal secret which Krishna is going to reveal in this chapter is something that is going to bring about an eternal result. What is that eternal result? Happiness without any reason. Indeed, that is the very purpose of human existence, to find this eternal happiness. The definition of happiness, according to many other living beings, may be just eat, mate, and make merry and then die. But in the case of human, he or she, human, is not satisfied merely by fulfilling one's own physical sensations, emotional satisfaction, etc., not even intellectual understanding. It is more intense is the seeking. What is that ultimate happiness? Learning which or knowing which I will never prey for a sorrow, never get disturbed, never get unhappy. What is that happiness is what the quest of every human being. Some of us express that and proceed further. Some of them keep it as a goal, never pursue on that. So Krishna here going to speak about what is the way to that royal secret or royal happiness, that the secret leading to that happiness. Royal secret is not a virtue, not a practice. It becomes as simple as breathing for an enlightened soul. So it is not something to be practiced at some point of time from morning till evening. It is not like a japa or a ritual or a puja or any particular action which needs to be done and beginning at a particular time and ending at some point of time. It is a virtue, it is spontaneous, it is so effortless. It is like when you open the eyes, you see it. You don't need to put an effort to see something with your eyes. In the same way, an enlightened person, for him, the secret of happiness is so spontaneous. He hardly puts an effort to be happy. And therefore, Krishna is very particular. Faith in this process of knowing the secret leads to end of birth and death cycle, the endless transmigratory process. So he began with the first one, royal secret one. Sri Krishna had said, the world is covered by my invisible form. So I have explained this to you in the earlier section. Invisible is not non-existence, just absent from our vision. A thing does not become absent. It is not available for you to see, but it is somewhere else in some other form. So therefore, Krishna says, I am in my invisible form pervading the entire universe. And then this, when we refer to anything as a word, indicates something other than oneself, which means there is the one I which is present to indicate something as this. When I say this world, there are two things there now. This, the world which I see, I, the one who is seeing. So therefore, this world is already within the scope of I, which remains invisible presence in all of us. This I, the individual I, is not a physical eyes. It is not the mind. It is not a thought. It is awareness. And that awareness is not available for us to know it as a thought. Therefore, this I always remains invisible from our comprehension. That is what Krishna talks about. I, the invisible presence, is pervading the entire universe. Krishna referring himself as the I that has no form. So therefore, the first secret is I, the pure consciousness, is the one which is pervading the entire universe. Alright. Second, he says, royal secret 2, within that I, awareness alone, all living beings, all beings are in me. When I say beings, it means all the varieties of names and forms, trees and plants and animals and birds and human and earth and water, fire, air, space, sun, moon, wind, everything is included as beings, anything that is created. A table, a chair, a desk, or a door is given a name according to its usage. Essentially, all are wood. Just as the various varieties of things that we see are essentially the matter made of 5 elements. Therefore, all beings are essentially expression of I, the invisible presence. No one refers to one's own hand as I, only as my. In other words, that whenever I say my hand, that means I is different from the hand which I am referring to. I own the hand, I have the hand, I possess the hand, I am not the hand. This understanding must be clear, that I am aware of this physical body. We say my body, right? We don't say I, the body. So therefore, the I is always standing independent of whatever is perceived. And therefore, in this I, with its presence alone, all experiences take place. I, the consciousness, has to be present to experience anything in the world. If all parts of the body, thoughts, feelings, and notions are my, where is the I then? Is it something a part of the body? So therefore, the secret here is in its presence, the presence of the I in invisible presence alone, all experiences take place. Therefore, Krishna says, all of them are in me. Continuing, royal secret 3 is, I am not in them. So this I, the consciousness, is not an object of perception. I is not known to anyone other than you. Even you know the I with reference to a thought only. Whenever you say I am walking, actually your body is walking. You are not walking. Since I refer to myself as identified with the body, you say I am walking. I am sitting. I am seeing. Now, when you go through this experience of walking or eating or speaking, etc., Now, when you say I am sleeping, in that statement there is a flaw. Why? Because you cannot say I am sleeping. Because sleeping happens when the I is no more identified with the body. If I is identified with the body, then it is not sleeping. Therefore, I am sleeping is a statement which you never would be able to do it. Please therefore understand, I, the awareness, when identified with the body, it does all the actions connected to the body. When the I, the consciousness, identified with the mind, it feels everything. The I, the consciousness, with identified with the intellect, it understands everything. But the I, the consciousness, not identified with any one of this, cannot act or does not act. In which case, the statement I am sleeping is invalid. So, in I, the consciousness, identified with the body, with the mind, with the intellect, all experiences are. So, when I identify myself with my mind and intellect, I have thoughts. I have thoughts. Thoughts are in you. You are not a thought. This I is present always. It has no death and it has no birth. It is a witness of your sleep as well, dream and waking, yet it is not one of them. So when I say I am dreaming, again, I am dreaming cannot be a statement you can make as a verbal statement, because if you are dreaming, then you are not connected to the body. Body is lying down, taking rest, and your mind is dreaming, mind is imagining things. And at that stage, if you are saying I am dreaming, then you must be daydreaming. You are awake, you are still awake to the world, yet a part of your mind is in the imaginary mode. But if you are completely into the dream, where the mind alone is functioning in the full capacity as a dreamer, then the body is not engaging in any activity, including making the statement as I am dreaming. So therefore, I, the consciousness, is a witness to the state of sleep where all the body, mind, intellect, all of them are at rest. In the state of dream where mind is active, body is asleep. In the state of waking where all the body, mind and intellect all are awake and you are able to experience all of them. When body, mind, intellect all are given up knowingly, that is a state of total abidance or called samadhi. So when he says I am not in them, meaning I am witnessing them, I am seeing them, I have them, but I am not that. Just like you wear a shirt, when you are wearing a shirt, it is your shirt. No doubt you are wearing and then going out, everything. So somebody says your shirt is beautiful. Yeah, it's my shirt is beautiful. And you say, in this shirt you are beautiful, you are smart. So that means I, the one who is wearing the shirt, is different from the shirt. When you remove the shirt which has given me the beauty and the elegance is not there. And therefore when I wear a coat, beautiful coat, and walk about, wow, you look so smart now in this coat. In this coat, meaning what? This body in this coat. When I remove the coat, then the body doesn't look as charmful as wearing the coat. Right? In the same way, the I, the consciousness identified with the body, seem to be engaging in the world, and that is what people see. When the I, the consciousness independent of the body, remains in its own nature, where the qualities of the body, mind, intellects are given up, what is it? Who is it? That consciousness I am. Therefore, I am not in them, identified with the body, mind and intellect. Now, we'll come to the royal secret 4. Because we have seen in these first 3 of them, what he said first was, I, the invisible presence, the consciousness pervading the entire world, number 1. Number 2, therefore, all of them, all living beings, all beings are in that presence of consciousness only. Even though they are present in me, the consciousness, I am not in them. That is the third one. Now the fourth one is apparently very contradictory. He says, they are not in me. I am not. First one you said, I am the invisible presence in all. Second, they are in me. Now the fourth statement he says, they are not in me. How do we understand this? Now, for example, if you are seeing the screen on which a movie is projected, you are actually seeing the screen, but watching a movie. Please note these two different statements, seeing and watching. When you say, where are you going to go this evening? You say, I'm going to watch a movie. All right. So I'm also going with you. Okay, come along. So both of us go. So let us say go to the theater. We sit down, buy the ticket and sit down inside. Now, I, you, everyone in the theater are seeing the screen. But actually, even as we are seeing the screen with our eyes, what we are doing is watching the movie. It is like you standing in front of a mirror and you are seeing the mirror but watching yourself. So my eyes are looking at the mirror surface, but my mind is looking at me. And any correction that you make yourself or put a makeup on your face, you are doing it watching the mirror. So when you look at yourself in the mirror, then you do all the, combing the hair, etc. But actually the mirror is what you are looking at. In the mirror, you are looking at yourself. You see? Eyes are looking at the mirror. You are looking at yourself as the image in the mirror. Eyes are seeing the screen. Mind is watching the movie. If you can see the difference. Similarly, we are seeing the Lord, but watching and experiencing the world. That is why Krishna says, when I say I am present invisibly in the entire universe, this universe, this world which you are seeing is non-different from me. I am this. But since you are not able to comprehend this, you are seeing the variety of things, names and forms. And when you see the names and forms, you forget that you are looking at the Lord. It happens to many of us when you go to a temple and the deity there is decorated so well with a lot of flowers and ornaments and decorations and beautiful dress and very glittering ornaments and everything is put on and very nicely decorated, and you are so happy to see. In the process of seeing the flowers and the ornaments and the dress, etc., what you fail to see is God. Even though the Lord is present there, we are getting carried away by the other decorations, and then we forget that we are here to look at the Lord. So similarly, therefore, seeing the Lord but watching and experiencing the world, that's what we are now in. Everything that we touch, everything that we smell, everything that we see, everything that we hear, everything that we taste. Krishna also says in one place that when you drink a water, that taste in the water is me. The light of the sun is me. The heat of the fire is in me, is me. The sound that we hear is me. But yet, even though we are experiencing all the time, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, 60 seconds in a minute, we fail to see. Just like we are seeing the screen, watching the movie, we are seeing the Lord, watching and experiencing the world. And when, as just like in the case of a movie watching, where you get carried away, the emotion, then the drama, and then all the tamasha that is there in the movie, and then you get carried away by the story, by the acting, by the direction, by the camera, by the songs, by the comedy. So is this stage of beautiful drama that is going on as the world. We get carried away by the experiences thereof, forgetting that the Lord alone is on which everything is projected. So seeing is a physical action, watching is by the mind. When seeing and watching is the same, either you are completely ignorant or completely enlightened. What way? See, when seeing and watching becomes one, in the case of a person seeing a movie, he is watching the movie, seeing the screen, but when he recognizes that seeing my screen and what is going on the screen is merely a drama, an illusion, he is not affected by what is going on there on the screen. Such a person is enlightened. Even though there is a tragedy going on in that movie or a comedy that is going on in that movie, when he knows that it is all projection on the screen, and such a person is not going to be affected by what is being projected there, he is an enlightened person. On the other hand, he forgets that it is a screen. The drama that is being projected there is real, and I totally forget that it is a movie. I get so carried away by that, and then you are completely engrossed in that very happening there in the movie. You are lost. That is the case of an ignorant person. So often we have to remind ourselves, as even when you are watching a movie, I am watching the movie with my mind, but actually I am seeing the screen. There are two realities here, screen and what is projected on the screen, right? So parallelly, both are seen clearly. He is called a seeker, a sadhaka, a practitioner. He is able to see both of them clearly, the screen and what is projected on the screen. He has a choice to go and understand that what is happening on the screen is not real. Or he can lose himself in the drama. So if this choice is given to him, and thus therefore Gita beautifully says, even as you are seeing the world, you are actually seeing the Lord. So to clarify this a little further, I have put together this particular chart for you. Now, you look at this chart, you may get some clarity about various ways of looking at it. Now, don't get overwhelmed by so many things written there. Let us take one by one. In the case of an atheist, the world alone is real. God does not exist. That's why he's called an atheist. Na asti. The Lord is not. Nothing beyond this world is ever existing. This world is alone real. Therefore, this body that is experienced by me all the time is subject to birth and death. There is nothing called soul that exists, which means there is no traveler here. The body alone is reality, and whatever is experienced by the body alone is real, and it is subject to birth and death. Along with the death of the body, everything ends. So what is this life is all about? Life is to indulge and enjoy. And there is nothing called heaven, nothing beyond this world ever exists. So a pure materialist, most people belong to this category. Pure materialist, for such a person, the world alone is real, and there is no fear of next birth or fear of karma, fear of punishment. He or she may be a little afraid of the law of the land, because if he does wrong, then the law of the land would punish him. But there is nothing called ethical and moral fear of doing the right, even if nobody is watching, or being ethical, even if one is not forced to do so. That is not there. The inner integrity is not there. He or she would do things only when it is a law, only when there is a punishment. Otherwise, he won't. The behavior doesn't change. except in the case of punishment and the law and somebody watching. So there is no moral and ethical code for such a person, and therefore he will live a life of indulgence, and that the maximum what will happen, my physical body will suffer some disease and die. So what? And that's the end of it. So therefore, there is nothing called soul which is going to experience hell, heaven, the result of karma, rebirth, none of those. Some of you say, oh wow, interesting, that is what I want to. Then you don't need to go further. Here we can stop. So world alone is real, God does not exist, body is born and it will die, and soul does not exist, life is to indulge and enjoy, no heaven, nothing beyond this world. Okay. Whereas if you are introduced to some religion, whichever be, Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Hinduism, Buddhism, and many other things. Buddhism, of course, does not believe in a particular God as a creator, that's a different thing. So in most religious scriptures would talk about world is real. Most religion consider world as real. God is the creator. So God created this world in 6 days, and 7th day he took a rest. This is some ideas there. Let's look at it a little later about that. So this world is real, God is the creator. And therefore what happened? A religious person typically is obliged to God who created this world for me. He created me. He created my body. He created all that I experiencing here, and I'm grateful to Him. And if I want anything more, I go and ask Him or her, this Lord, and He will give me what I want. He is gracious. He is compassionate. When I make a mistake, I will go and tell Him, and He will forgive me. He will make sure that at the end of my life, I am buried. The body is meant to serve only the Lord, and when I am buried finally in the Christianity, Islam, and the Judaistic, what called Semitic religion, Abrahamic religion, it is believed that the soul remains where the body is buried until the judgment day, when the Lord will declare which souls are going to go with Him to the heaven, which souls are going to hell. There are only two possibilities. Either go to hell because of your sins, or go to heaven because you believed in a particular form of God. So soul will reach God upon death if the soul has done good deeds. So the entire life is making sure that I do the good things to reach the Lord, and because God is the resident of heaven and I am going to be taken there, and if I do good, if I reach there, if I don't do good, I will go to hell. Therefore, the entire life is to do good and not to do bad things. This is good. This is how all religions talk about. Even Hinduism has got plenty of scriptures of this kind. Now comes the third category of people who are spiritual seekers. The seekers of this category are not those who think that God has created the world and staying separate from it somewhere else. The world is an appearance and God is its substratum. Just like you have the large ocean of water, the large quantity of water, in which lot of waves, tides, many things appear. Actually, the Lord is the substratum of the universe, like that of water is the substratum of the entire ocean. Because of the large collection of water, the ocean has the huge existence, and waves appear in many, many different forms. In the same way, the Lord is a substratum, and the world is the vast presence of His own being. And so every wave is water in essence. Every body is God's abode. What do you mean by every body is God's abode? Which means the soul, which is what we consider as me, is God's presence. It is He who is present here as a supporter of this body, as a sustainer of this body. Therefore, the life is a continuous journey to experience Him as one's own soul in His presence. So, where is the heaven that I have to go? Is it another place to go? No. It is constant remembrance of the Lord as my own soul is the heaven here itself. So, a spiritual seeker essentially tries to remain in the presence of the Lord by remembering Him as one's own soul and constantly serving Him as the soul of everyone. So, a spiritual seeker is one who is continuously aware of the spirit and not just giving too much importance to the matter. That is a spiritual seeker. And since he sees the soul in every living being as God, he is ready to spend time and effort to serve Him as the entire world. So, as we have in our pledge, we believe that the service of our country is the service of the Lord of Lords, and devotion to the people is the devotion to the Supreme Self. So, serving the people is the purpose of life. Because I am serving whom? Lord only. Nobody else, because every soul is nothing but the Lord Himself. Okay. So this is a third category of people. So the spiritual seekers do not think heaven is another place where I have to go. And at the end of the physical body's existence, it is not that I remain there. I am allowed or given another opportunity to proceed further and continue my journey to continue to experience His presence. The joy of living is in continuous remembrance of the Lord. This is a spiritual seeker. The fourth category of is the one he is enlightened. He has realized the truth. And what is that? The world is unreal. God alone is. That's why Bhagavan Krishna says in the last part, what did he say? That nothing, they all don't exist in me. What does it mean? They really don't exist. The world doesn't really have any reality. The Lord alone is real, and therefore body here is a baggage. The baggage does not have its own reality in this case. And God, soul is realized as one's own self. Self is the Lord. And the life is an external expression of the Lord only. Heaven is when there is no I, the individuality, the ego. It has been completely falsified, made immaterial. So it is difficult to understand the mind of a realized soul because the I individuality in him is absent. So if you are looking for somebody in that personality, nobody will be there. It's just empty. So a realized soul is an empty being. His soul has already merged in the totality. It is like a pot you take which has no content in it. What is inside? Nothing. But why do you call it a pot? Because it has a shape, that's all. What does it contain? Nothing. Just space. In the same way, a Mahatma is one, he doesn't have an individual personality. He is completely merged with the Lord, and therefore he as a person who has likes, dislikes, hatred, love, lust, none of those exist in such a person. It is rare indeed to see, even have an experience of a personality of that kind. So therefore, now look at it. In the four categories, four secrets are revealed, really speaking. The first one, when he says world alone is real, this is what the royal secret one talked about, how a person of a grossest nature look at the world as real. If you look at the world as real, Bhagavan says, I am invisible in this. Okay. The second one, what he said was, all are in me. Meaning what? I am the creator of this universe, And therefore, being the creator, all of them are included in me. Because I am the very material cause of this world. Let's take an example of a pot or a table. Let us take a wooden table. When you look at a wooden table, do I see the creator of the wooden table? The one who made it? I don't see it. Because wood is the one which I see. It is in the form of a table. But I don't see the creator of the carpenter. I don't see him in the table. So, in the case of a table, the table has two aspects. One, the material, the wood, and second, the one who made the wood appear like a table to me. But the creator is different. This is a case of all religious teachings. The creator created the world and he is independent of it. Like that of a table is made, table is independent of the one who made the table, the carpenter. But then when the question arises, like in the case of a carpenter, he got a material called wood to make the table. But in the case of the world, what is the material that the Lord has got to make this world? The trees and the plants and the animals and the sky and everything is so different. Sky is not the air, air is not the fire, fire is not the water, water is not the earth, a tree is not a stone, an animal is not the bird, bird is not a man. So many different varieties of things. How God created varieties of things? What is His material? So therefore, when you inquire into that, you realize the material cause cannot be different from the Lord Himself. It's not that God has got a material somewhere and He brought that material to make this world. That is not possible, because if that is the case, then you have to ask, who made that material? So therefore, a spiritual seeker understands that the world that I am seeing is none other than the Lord Himself is appearing as that. So the world is an appearance, God is the substratum. So therefore, Krishna says, I am not in them. I am not the variety that you see. I am the substratum, the support. And the fourth one, he said, they are not in me. What does it mean? When you see me, you don't see the world anymore. When you see the screen, you don't anymore have the movie and the tragedies and comedies in that. When you see the wood, you don't see the table anymore. Woodeva satyam. Wood alone is real. God alone is real. World is an appearance. World is unreal, really speaking. So, these four secrets he revealed is 4 stages of growth, 4 levels of maturity of an individual who is walking the path. The first one is an atheist. Slowly he comes to comprehend the religious precepts. Then he becomes spiritual person until the fourth one he reaches into become enlightened one. Only when a person has got that complete knowledge, he will say, they are not in me. Meaning, that world that I happen to see is not real. What is real is only the Lord. That makes an individual completely, unquestionably, undoubtedly remain as Bhagavan. So that is why the Upanishadic statement is Brahmavit Brahmaiva Bhavati. One who knows Brahman, the absolute reality, is absolute reality. He is. So therefore, the fourth secret, when it is revealed, he says, Aham Brahmasmi. Nothing else remains. Now, if you have understood the 4 secrets that he has revealed so far, then the fifth one makes a lot of relevance and importance. Now you see, the Krishna says, all beings are within my limit. Within my limit means me being the substratum, me being the very sustaining power of the universe. Everything is within my limit. Just like in my body, I am the owner of this body, I have this body. in this physical body is engaging in what I want it to engage in. Though there are certain things which I do not have control over. For example, when I eat food, though I have the choice of what to eat, that choice is with me. How much to eat, what to eat, when to eat, these choices are there. But once the eating is complete, the process of digestion is not within my control, but happening within me. So my hand, my body, my head, my toe, all the entire body is within the limit of I, the consciousness, individual consciousness. In the same way, Krishna says here that just as the wind can travel only within space, all beings remain within my limits. If you consider that the entirety of the whole creation is the Lord's presence, within the Lord's presence alone, all the living beings can move about. Just like space is vast and dimensionless, limitless, in that space alone, air can travel. Krishna here refers himself as the infinite presence like a space. Therefore, though a fish moves about freely in the water, it is due to the water it is alive. In the same way, everything that goes on, even take the case of my thoughts are within the limits of consciousness. In consciousness alone, all my thoughts are. No thought can exist without consciousness. So this is becoming a little abstract for some people who may not have learned Vedanta properly. Thought is within the limits of consciousness. For example, I can think about things that I have already experienced. I can imagine things that I have not experienced, for example. Like, somebody says, have you been to Niagara Falls? I say, no. If you have not been to Niagara Falls, I'll show you some pictures and videos about it. So I see the pictures or videos about it and heard from somebody who had been there. But my understanding of what that Niagara Falls, that how far, how big it is, how tall the water flow is, from what height it is coming down, what is the sound of it, what is the effect of it, all that are all imagined by me. Because unless I go there and look at that gigantic waterfall, I do not have an experience of it. So therefore, my mind can only think about the things I have experienced already. My intellect can go to the field of the unknown, it as a possibility. Yet all this, the functionality of the mind, functionality of the intellect, all are taking place only when I am conscious. My consciousness is the one within that limit of which all that my thoughts can flow. So therefore, Krishna here says, I, the consciousness within which alone all the living beings can exist. I, the consciousness, is like that of the space within which the wind can move. So the fifth secret is that the entire creation is within the limit that I have created. Now, who is that me? One may ask this question. Is Krishna the son of Vasudeva and Devaki? How can he claim himself to be God, the eternal, the vast, the expansive, all-pervading presence? So Krishna says, I am not referring to myself as this Vasudeva's son or Devaki's son. I am identifying myself with the universal consciousness. It is similar to a president of a country going to UN and says, I, the president of United States, say this to you all as a message from my country. He is not talking as he, the individual person. He, the president of the country, is talking. In the same way, whenever Krishna says I, he is not referring to the son of Vasudeva and Devaki. He is referring to himself as a universal consciousness. Therefore, here, proceeding on further, the royal secret 6. What is that? Krishna says, creation is a cycle. I create and I dissolve endlessly. Now, the creation is a very interesting theory according to Hinduism or the philosophy of Hinduism, here to be precise. It's a cycle. Um, it is not at some point of time it began, and at some point of time it will become completely destroyed and gone. It is not like that. It is a cyclical existence. I mean, it is as much true as every day begins at some point of time and every day ends at some point of time. And when the day ends, something else happens that is called night. And the night also begins at some point of time and ends. When the day begins. So day ends and night begins. It is not, there is no gap between these two. As the day is coming to an end, night has already crept in. And when night takes over, day ends. Similarly, night is slowly ending when the day has started to creep in. And when the day takes over, night ends. It's not suddenly at some point of time switch off. It is not like that. It slowly sets its pace of dissolving, while the dissolving is complete dissolution. And dissolution also ends in creation. And creation ends in dissolution. So this is a cyclical thing. So here, what does it mean? Creation is like waking up from sleep. When you wake up, you continue with what you have left undone. So creation is an end of dissolution. Just like you wake up in the morning, as you start to wake up, your sleep is ending. And when the waking up is complete, sleep is completely gone. And at the time when you wake up, what is that you're going to do? You're going to continue what you have not done or have not completed yesterday. Right? And when you are busy with doing things what you could not do yesterday and what you have started to do today, for example, yesterday you were studying something and you did not complete studying it, you have few more pages left, you have to finish that, okay, but you are tired, you went to sleep, and then after that slowly your sleep becomes very deep, and then you just close the book and went to sleep, snoring away. Next to 4, 5, 6 hours you're sleeping, probably on the table itself, because you're so tired to even go to the bed, so you're just sleeping on the table itself. And you kept an alarm, fortunately, every day to wake up at some point of time. So around 6 o'clock or so, when the alarm goes off, you get up. And first thing that comes to your mind is what? Oh my God, I didn't finish reading it. Today I have to finish it. So as soon as you finish your early morning things, and then you take shower and things like that after having breakfast or lunch, whatever you are eating. If you are waking up late, it's obviously lunch. Then you continue what you have not finished. Once you have finished reading, okay, I have to do something else, you start. And you start doing that. After some time, you kept busy yourself with doing that the whole day, and that is not complete. By the end of the day, you say, tomorrow I will do it. And as you're saying again, you go to the state of sleep. Next morning, wake up, continue. In the same way, creation is a cyclical thing, meaning what has been done before, what has been undone in the previous cycle is going to be started off with, and new things are going to be also beginning in this creation. And as the dissolution takes place, everything comes slowly a grinding halt and dissolution. Dissolution ends when again all the beings come back to start their working what they need to do. So the karma as a cycle is that which is previous actions, the result of previous actions are experienced in this cycle, and whatever we are doing in this cycle of creation, the karma will lead to the next creation. So waking up is creation, going to sleep is dissolution, if you have understood this clearly. So just like in sleep there is no action, is the state of total dissolution in the world. Imagine all beings, all of us go to the state of quiet sleep. Everyone, trees, plants, animals, everything, all of them, all living beings, the bird that is flying, the birds that are chirping, the lion that is roaring, the fishes that are moving, the human beings that are working, and the entire creation, including the all the cosmos, everything has come to a grinding halt, slowly to a point of no action. And that's absolute sleep of every living being, everything in this world. That's called pralaya, dissolution. And how long? To a given period of time, and afterwards when their prakriti will start to begin engaging, just like you wake up. You wake up not because the alarm goes off. You wake up because you have things to do. Similarly, that of the entire prakriti wakes up to do the next one. So when that waking up of all living beings to the next one is called creation. So what prompts you to wake up is called prakriti, the individual and collective karmas that make the world a vibrant field of activities. So that means all of us put together collectively making the entire creation work. All beings are controlled by their own vasana and subsequent karmas. So my desire is making me engage in my field of activity. Your desire makes you engage in your field of activity. And every one of us, if you look at a busy street, some cars are moving from the east to the west, some of them are moving from west to the east, some of them from south to north, some of them north to south. Every one of us are looking for doing things they move from one place to another, from one job to another, one stage of life to another stage of life, one employment to another employment, one profession to another profession. Everyone is busy doing all that. And therefore, collectively, this vibrant universe is nothing but all our vasanas, desires expressed. And invariably, what I want to do, I need help of you as well. If you didn't complete your part, I will not be able to start my own. For example, if the supply of milk is not done by the farmer into the market, if I go to the retail shop, I don't get the milk. Why? That fellow did not complete his job. In a production unit also, a particular individual is to pack the material, let us say. A particular product is made and his job is to pack that and send it to the another department where they will put it into the final containers. So if I have to do my job of packing the product, you must have finished the product. Before you finish the product, somebody might have done the quality control. Before the quality control, everybody might have put the components in place. The components have to be individually have been made. Each components have a raw material to make that. The raw material has to be supplied by somebody else. So if you look at the chain of things, the raw material has to be supplied. The material has to be converted into components. Components have to be put together as a product. Product has to be made into quality control. Quality control product comes to the person to package, and packaged material, a packaged product is put into the container, and the container is taken by the another set of people to the market, and in the market it is available in the retail shop. So before it comes to retail shop, there are so many things that are going on, right? Each one is complementing another person's job. If he did not complete, the next one will not happen. In the same way, in this creation, each one of us are contributing to the entire world of activities. Everyone. A bird does that, an animal does that, an insect does this, a bacteria does that. Every one of them are busy with their own field of activity according to their vasanas and their inclinations. Put together, the whole place is vibrant. This entire gamut of activities that is going on is called Prakriti, the power of the Lord. He doesn't do anything. At the same time, he allows the field to happen. The field is created so that the individual jivas, having their individual desires, karmas, and individual activity to do, they engage in. The Lord only creates the field for them to express. And the Prakriti continuously works. And therefore, the statement, all beings are controlled by their own vasanas and subsequent karmas, is what is making the entire creation world is vibrant with field of activities. So, who is God here? Is he a person? Krishna says he is a collective consciousness. A relative consciousness. So, this is secret number 7 says, through creation, though creation is my activity, I am not bound by it at all. So this collective consciousness is that which we refer as God, is the one which is making the entire world very active and creative. And even though I am the one whose presence making it all happen, but I am not bound by that at all. So there are 3 aspects of karma that can bind an individual. Whenever we do any action, we are bound by 3 things. Number 1 is the attachment to the result. Second one is the attachment to the action done to get the desired results. And the third one is strong identification as I am the doer. 3 things. Phala asakti, attachment to result. Karma asakti, attachment to action. Kartrutva asakti, attachment to the doership. I am the doer. So these 3 bind us at all times. Let me make that point clear. For example, if I am engaged in singing, let us say, I am just singing. In an audience, which is invited audience, I am sitting on the stage and singing. Now, when I am singing, of course, I finished one particular song and I pause before taking the second song. What am I expecting? All of you clap. That makes me happy. Oh, people are enjoying my song. That's why they are clapping. So, this expectation of a recognition, applause, and admiration from the audience is karma phala asakti. Desire for or the attachment to the result of that action. Therefore, when you all clap, admire my presentation, my singing, I am so enthused to sing more. So therefore, I want to sing. That is called karma asakti. I want to sing. You see? So I want to sing. That is the next song. And that also you enjoy in a clap and all. So karma asakti becomes, I am a good singer. That's kartrutva asakti. I am a good singer. This was the 3 of them. So some in another place you go, and when you are there and nobody even recognizes, you feel so bad. Why? Because I am a good singer and nobody even recognizes me. See, that's a bondage. That's a slavery. That's unhappiness. Nobody bothers even talks to you. Nobody even bothers to notice you. So that disturbances is because of what? I have a feeling or I have a notion. I am a good singer. Or even so, even if I am recognized as a good singer, but they are not giving an opportunity for me to sing, I'll feel miserable. Because I, the good singer, are not doing the action of singing. So I have an attachment to the singing as an action. Or even if I am a good singer, I am singing and nobody claps. Oh my God. I so feel miserable. Why? Nobody enjoyed my music. See? So every action binds you in 3 forms. Result, action, actor. Now, if you understand this clearly, Krishna says, even though I create the entire universe, I am not at all attached to what I have done. That is why I am free. And therefore, you see, the doer ego, the result and action, these 3 things we saw right now. So, the result is what makes an individual engage in that action. And action creates result. We are in this kind of a vicious circle. Result influence the individual person to do the action, and the action leading to result. So doer, action, result. Doer, action, result. Doer, action, result. Doer, action, result. This is where we are all caught up in. And Krishna says, I am not like this. Why? How? So he says, if I am not interested in result, If I am not having the attachment result, what will happen? Then why should I act? If you say to someone, do not get attached to result of action, then you will next meet, then why should I act? You should act as a selfless cause. Not for personal praise and personal fame and name, etc. This is the right thing to do in this world. This is for the benefit of the maximum number of people. If that understanding is there, then the action will lead to a selfless result where I don't take credit for that, because this is a thing to be done. So the action, when it is performed as a selfless cause, then the action becomes a worship. Action becomes, when he or she does this action as a selfless cause with an understanding, I'm serving the Lord through this, my action becomes a worship. Work becomes a worship. Then when work becomes a worship, you realize that me, the individual who is doing the action for the sake of the humanity, for the greater cause, it is not my action. It is Bhagavan who is doing, the Lord is doing. Therefore, the ego is also not there. In that case, I am not the doer. It is the Lord functioning through me, engaging me in an action which is meant for a selfless cause. So the doer, earlier what was the vicious circle I had? The doer ego engaging in an action, getting a personal result, and that vicious circle is broken by changing the object. My result is not mine, it is for a selfless cause, and then the action becomes a worship, the doer becomes a non-doer. That is the secret. How to come out of this vicious circle of karma? Therefore, we have seen so far 7 secrets revealed by Lord Krishna in this chapter, chapter 9 of Bhagavad-Gita. More of the remaining secrets we will see in the next video session. Meanwhile, you can continue to have your discussion and your understanding of this, what is revealed so far. Please discuss that, and if you have any questions, you can definitely reach out to me by email, and I will be happy to share my thoughts with you all. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkhabhat Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.